Hey guys, welcome to your 15-minute stretch routine. This is going to be ideal for the end of the day or beginning of the day, however you want to do it. Try and get 15 minutes of stretching per day. We're going to do a full body stretch routine, so follow me and we'll go through the full stretches. We're going to hold each stretch for 30 seconds, with 15 seconds to get into the next position, ready for the next stretch. Feel free to follow me through the guided stretches, or just do these in your own time. Just make sure you have a timer so you can get each stretch for 30 seconds. So our first stretch is going to be a neck stretch. We're just going to pull it to one side, slight pressure, and then push this arm down to the floor. We're just starting off nice and easy and just slowly applying pressure to that neck. We're going to hold it for about 10 seconds or 15 seconds or so, and then we're just going to switch sides. So switch, hold that, push to the other side. So the next one we're going to do is a dynamic side to side stretch. So this one you can stay seated and we're going to go over our body each side like this. So we're going to go in a few seconds. We're going to try and reach as far as we can. Okay? 3, 2, 1, here we go. And you're going to try and reach as far as you can, driving that arm over. And you're going to try as best as you can. This for about 15 seconds. Hold that stretch, really push it. And then slowly switch to the other side. As far as you can go. Really squeeze that arm right the way over. Stretch out the shoulders, the back. The next one, we're going to be on all fours. So this one is called cat-cow. We're going to be on all fours and we're just going to make almost like a cat back or a cow back. So we're going to hold this position. And the first one, we're going to squeeze that stomach to the floor. We're trying to arch our back as best we can. Then we're going to come up, squeeze it as high as we can, and then back down. And up, and back down. Just take your time with this. Just mobilizing those shoulders. You really want to stretch out the lats. As high as you can, push up as high as you can, and all the way down. The next one is going to be a slightly different one. We're going to put one arm underneath our body. So same position, one arm underneath the body, and we're going to hold that position, and then we're going to stretch this arm up. And then you can bring it back down. And if you don't want to stretch this arm up, what you can do is you can bring the arm up there and then back through. So we're going to hold this movement for 30 seconds. Just keep rotating through the body. This one's called threading the needle. So I'm just going to try and get my shoulder as close to the floor as I can. So next one again, same movement, same position, but we're just going to bring that arm under. If you're trying to get your shoulder as low as possible, you can bend your arm and then try and rotate up as high as you can. Okay? So 30 seconds, under as best you can, up as high as you can, under, up as high as you can. Bring that shoulder to the floor, get a nice stretch for a second or two. Open up that chest and the shoulders. You'll start to feel the stretch right through the shoulder blades. It's quite a nice one just to mobilize as well first thing before a workout. So the next one we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of wrist stretches. So again, we're on all fours. We're going to face our fingers back towards our knees, and then we're going to just slowly rock. So this is the starting position, and then we're just going to rock back and forwards. So stretching out that wrist just where the palms just start to come off, and then forwards, back and forwards. Just taking your time, stretching those out. Nice and easy. You will start to feel that stretch. Again, if you've been doing a lot of lifting, should be very beneficial. Next one, guys, we're going to go into a bit of an A-frame for this one. So we're going to stretch out the calves. So we're going to put the bum up, take your weight, and you're trying to stretch out your legs. So making a big A, I'm pushing my head back And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take one leg off and then switch. So a runner's stretch here, or called walking the dog, this one. So I'm bending one leg and then putting all the pressure through the other leg. So I'm just stretching side by side, getting a good hamstring and glute stretch. This is really good as a mobilizing one or at the end of the day. A few more seconds. Okay, so the next one, guys, we're going to go into a deep lunge. So we're going down now into a deep lunge. Knee on the floor, bringing that hip forwards. We're getting a nice little hip flexor stretch. So big stretch. I want to be under tension for about 30 seconds. So you can place your hands there if you want. Try not to relax too much on your knee. So just put a little bit of pressure there. If you want to get more push, stick your hands on your hips and then use your hands to put pressure on your hips. You'll get a nice hip flexor stretch, holding it there. If it is tight, just breathe through these. These are going to be very beneficial. Just take your time. And then what we're going to do now, in just in a second, is we're going to come back into this position, bring those the toes up, and we're going to get a little stretch here. So we're going to get a calf stretch. You can, if you want, hold that leg up and then keep that head forward. So you're bringing your head down towards your knee, leaning forward, grabbing your toe and getting a nice calf stretch all through the Achilles, calf, hamstrings, a little bit in the glutes as well. Just holding that for 30 seconds. And once you've done this one, we're then going to go into the other side. So keep that tension, really try and make sure that you are pushing yourselves. And then we're just going to switch. So I'm going to start with the other side. And I'm going to get that very low lunge, deep lunge, and then I'm just going to get a little stretch in. So we're going to go as deep as we can and go for it. Just hold that there, just push for 30 seconds. Try and drive those hips down. You should feel a nice hip flexor stretch here. If you've done a lot of abdominal work, you'll be using the hip flexors. A lot of running, you're using hip flexors. And for most leg activity movements, bringing the legs high, I'm going to use the hip flexors a lot. So this is a nice stretch as well for the glutes. And then we're just going to come back. So next one, we're coming back, get that little stretch, hand there, and you can either stay elevated off the floor or you can sit back in it, okay? It's totally up to you. I prefer to remain elevated. So just going to get that nice little stretch, and I'm trying to push my body. This, for me right now, is probably about a 6 or a 7 out of 10 for pain. So it's a little bit painful. I'm not at my max, but I am getting some good tension. So I'm just holding that tension, breathing through, really focusing on breathing. One of the biggest things people forget is breathing when they're stretching, so just breathe. Voila. And then we come back. So the next one we're going to get is just a little cobra stretch. So we're going to go down to the floor and we're going to get a little lower back stretch. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come up, find that tension, and then just hold that stretch there. So you can bring your hips off the floor if you want, or just relax them, just trying to push up. So my head's going back towards my toes, holding that position. If this does hurt, just bring your body down a little bit. And if you want to get specific sides, just go side to side, rotate a little bit, nice, and loosen up those hip flexors and the obliques a little bit more. So the next one after this is we're going to just get a nice little tricep stretch and chest stretch. So we're just going to get our arms together behind our body and we're going to squeeze them right the way back. Now if you want a more advanced version, we can do this. We can bring our arms to the floor. So this one we're just going to squeeze our arms up as high as we can. I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together. I'm keeping them under tension. I'm getting a nice stretch in the chest. If you're flexible enough, you can put your hands either on a chair or on the floor and then wiggle your whole body forward and then get a really decent stretch in the shoulders. Just be careful with this one, you should be quite flexible before you try this one. So just going to hold this one and then we're going to just come out of that nice and steadily. Next one, we're going to get a little back stretch. So we're pushing those arms forward now. We've just done the chest, now we're going to get the back. Arms together, knuckles facing out to begin with. All the way forward, try and get that stretch, bring that head forward, get a nice neck stretch as well. Bring the arms right the way forward, and then once we're about 15 seconds in, we're going to switch our hands so the palms are facing out, and then we're going to really push as far forward as we can. Get a really deep stretch. Good guys, well done. And then the next one, just have a little shake out of those arms. Next one, we're going to go above the head. So we're going to stretch out the shoulders, a little bit of triceps still. So above the head for the next one, try and find that position. And go for it, 30 seconds, squeezing those shoulders right the way back. We're holding this position, squeezing them as far back as you can. Really force your arms back. If you do want some assistance, just do this on a wall. Drive your head down, or put your hands on a chair and bring your whole body down. It will assist you getting greater range of movement in your shoulders. Just hold that position, really squeeze it right the way back, and well done guys, shake out those shoulders. The next one we're going to do is a pigeon stretch. So we're going to go down to the floor, all fours. We're going to bring one knee forward, leg out to the side, and just apply pressure down to the floor, okay? The main focus, bringing that hip to that ankle. I'm trying to bring that hip to ankle. We don't want to be kind of on one side just stretching out like this, because then we're not feeling that stretch. So we need to maintain this position, bring the hip to the ankle, and then if you want to and you're feeling comfortable, bring your body down to the floor and just hold it. You should feel a bit more of a stretch. And then we're going to switch sides. So we're going to come up and switch sides. I'm bringing my knee forwards and I'm bringing my ankle out to the side now. I'm going to stretch it a little bit more so my ankle is further up. Now I'm pushing down. I'm keeping my hand on top of my toe so it doesn't slip, and I'm pushing down. Most important thing, not to bring my head down, but to push those hips down first of all. Once you've done the hips down, then you can bring your body down and trying to get your whole body as close to your toe as possible. So getting that nice steady stretch. Just take your time, find that stretch, a few more seconds, and perfect. So the next one we're going to do is a little wall stretch that's going to be very beneficial for the upper body and the shoulders. We talked about it a second ago. I'm going to go one arm here on the wall and then head down. So we're just going to bring that body down, stretching out the chest, the shoulders, the triceps, as well as a little bit on the wrist, and just bringing that whole body down. Stretch out the chest, hold there 30 seconds or 15 seconds so, and then we'll switch arms. That's it, as deep as you can. Really try and keep that tension. And perfect. So the next one we're going to do, we're going to create a little butterfly or butterfly position. Bring the heels in, and now we're going to bring the knees down, and I'm going to lean forward, so forward fold. I'm coming forward, stretching as far as I can, and I'm going to get a nice little inner groin stretch. So hold that position. I'm trying to breathe out and stretch. So breathing in, breathe out. Try and get 1 or 2 more inches further forward. Stretch those hands as far as you can. Last little bit. And then the last one. We're just going to go literally a quick quad stretch. So if you can't do this one, you can do an individual quad stretch. So we're just going to lay back and hold this quad position and squeeze those quads like this. We're going to try and bring the hips up. Holding this quad position here, you're going to get a really nice tension through the quads, a little bit on the hips and the knees as well. That's the most important thing, holding this position. If you do struggle with this one, just get this one a little bit longer. Hold a kneeling quad position where you're stretching and using the wall to stabilise yourself, and just use the other side as well. So you're stabilising your body and just holding that position. Alright guys, shake them out, loosen up those legs. Hopefully you're feeling good after that little stretch. It's only 15 minutes, so like I say, if you can do that each day, get used to the routine. Whatever works for you, staying limber, staying flexible, staying in good shape and good health is super important, especially with a lot of the exercise that you're doing. So if you can stay flexible, that's going to be massively helpful with your recovery and also your movement. Well done guys, and I will see you all soon.